I love the guitars, man. Huh? This is Mr. Hayat. Maayong adlaw sa kanatong tanan. Where do I face, Ralph? This one, this camera? What? That camera. Anyway, I was observing the views and the likes. Ralph ba? Nakakita ko nga inyong mga bugal-bugal ni Kuya Magic. 5,000, 10,000, 3,000 ang atong mga laom kay mga conversation, mga 300, mga 400. Ha? Sama na ba? May pag magsayaw na lang ta, mag-TikTok na lang ta diri, ha?
That's
Unsang tawa man ka? Dili ra ba nakatuonan? Do you think our audience are dumb?
No,
Huh?
no, of
So
course not.
so what are you laughing about?
Dili, no. People really enjoy funny things lang. Ana lang.
People enjoy funny. So let's do funny things, di ay?
Yeah.
Unsa man pananglitan, unsa man ato mabuhat nga funny nga maka-attract og listeners
That's a good
or
question.
viewers. Pananglitan be. Dili da enough akong naong di ay. Ha?
Ay, di man katawa na ni mong
Oh,
naong, Jigs.
ha?
Sana din mo mindset ha. Katawa na ni mong naong.
I don't know ba. That's why ba. Well, kataonan kanang you're so funny. Why? I didn't say a joke. Your face.
Your face is so funny.
Katawanan og naong. Lahi man na sa bati og naong, di ba?
Oh, lahir dyan.
Kanang batig naong, lahi man na sa katawanan og naong. That's different, right?
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of kaning katawanan, actually it's not katawanan, but it's just very interesting that there were 90% of all of the nursing board exams takers passed the recently announced nursing board examinations.
I saw that.
90%. Unya, ang mga top notchers ko murag 11 ka pages.
Wow.
Daghan kay mga top notcher.
Daghan na.
Sus, daghan na i-refund ani sa mga eskwelahan. Niingon na ba ni sila nga, di ba nga, usa sa mga prizes, tagag-auto, di ba?
Something like that.
I-refund ang kaning ilahang tuition fee and so on and so forth. So aligre kayo nga daghan kayo ang mga
Top notch.
mga top notchers karon, mga daghan na kayo mga 40,000 kapin ka mga bag-o nga mga registered nurses in the Philippines. And in a related story, just a few days ago, Donald Trump has demoted nursing as a non-professional.
Yeah. I think I saw that.
And people are also kaning mortified by this. And I don't know if this is connected. I don't know if the massive number of nursing board examinee passers is related to what Donald Trump just announced, that a nurse is no longer called a professional. Is no longer professional. And I have some of my friends nga taga gawas, taga America, ingon sila that has nothing to do with kaning the job opportunities of nurses in the United States. It has a lot to do with the amount of money that they can student loan to take up these specific careers, including nursing and physical therapy and the like. So murag gamay na lang ang ilahang malone instead of the full amount, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Unya, kung nurse po ka or you're a medical practitioner, unya paghuman ganahan ka mo further sa imong studies, then your amount that you can loan has also been reduced. So that's what it means, right?
Okay.
So, but I know nga there was also a pronouncement a few weeks ago nga mura og is making it more difficult for nurses to immigrate to the United States. I don't know exactly what is going on in that department, but it's just interesting. So congratulations to all of the brand new registered nurses here in the Philippines.
Let's go.
Congratulations. Let's go and heal our land, right?
Heal
our land, right?
Hopefully.
Sharo sa 40,000 kabuk nga bagong nurses. Why manabaho diri sa Pilipinas, di ba? Ha?
Unta,
Ha?
usually raba ang goal raba nila kay I'm heading abroad. I will care for my fellow Filipinos in the United States. Wala gina, mga quotes na ako makita usually sa ilang mga post.
Oh.
I'm a registered nurse. I will care for my fellow Filipinos abroad.
or I will serve my nation by remitting billions of dollars of money, right, to the Philippines when I finally get a secure job in the United States,
in the
right?
United States or somewhere else.
And they say raba nga dako kaayo nga presento sa ato ang ekonomiya is artificial because it comes from the OFW remittances, right? And our biggest weakness kuno as an economy is not corruption, although corruption is part of it. But it should be a given that corruption is bad, and I think corruption is not only bad universally, but it's also present universally all over the world, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just corruption that's making us poor; it's also our lack of manufacturing stuff. But let's not go there because I'm no economist and all of that stuff. So good luck to all of the nurses. I hope you guys serve your country well. And hopefully, one of these days, maybe perhaps, maybe time will come when the nurses will have a higher pay, maybe, and they'll stay here and make their living here in the Philippines.
Exactly.
Right? Ikaw, Ralph, kaning gahapon, itanaw man ka og stage private staging, right? Pero ikaw rami gipatanaw ato kita ra man mga pipila ka mga swerte nga mga tao nga nakakita sa Bring It On, the musical, Lin Manuel Miranda's musical, right? Bring It On. How was that?
I think it was really good.
Okay.
I think the performers well, it was a musical and I really enjoyed the musicality of it. You could really tell when the when the sound system was working, because I think that was the biggest problem sa showing last night, was the sound system was not 100% functional. Na yung mga moments jud nga ang mics completely ni cut off and you couldn't hear any of the performers talking or singing. So they had to bring out emergency mics and all that because ang ilang mga lapel, siguro ang tawag na, ang ilang mga lapel kay it wasn't functioning na. And it was it did take away from the full experience. Pero in the moments that you could actually hear them hear their singing and all that, you could tell nga these are a bunch of very talented people. And the music was really good. The story was intriguing. And the plot twist was kind of
what was the plot twist? I mean, like without
it's
revealing
it's gonna be
any
too much of a spoiler. If you guys want to find out what the twist is, why don't you watch the full show this 29, I believe.
So kato nga show nga among gitanaw kagahapon was just exclusive, right? And that was precisely to iron out the kinks, di ba? Para kaning mas manindot pagyud ang ilahang presentation in the next coming days. In fact, it is happening at the STC Auditorium. Bring It On, the musical. Ang naghimo niya ni nag-adapt ani sa stage is Lin Manuel Miranda of Hamilton fame, right? They actually got the exclusive rights to show it here in Cebu. Ang ato ang takna karon na 52 minutos nang milabay sa alas 10. You're listening to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice.
And I'm Ralph Chavez.
Maayong bungkag sa kanatong tanan. Ato ang programa karong buntaga is very, very, very interesting and also very controversial. Because this is you can see this not just here in Cebu, not just in the Philippines, but all over the world. We seem to have a housing crisis, right? Unya kaning housing crisis manggod, makita ni nato especially karong mga niaging adlaw because of all of these natural calamities, the earthquake and the typhoon, di ba? Nakakita ta nga daghan kaayong mga squatters nga na-displaced, nga guba ilang mga balay. In fact, worse, nga matay because they don't have proper housing. So to help us dissect this particular topic, we have the head of Gawad Kalinga. He's been the head of Gawad Kalinga for a decade now, And he's also in the Cebu City Housing Board, if I'm not mistaken. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Toby Florendo.
Morning, Jiggy.
Mayong buntag ni
Good
Bada
morning,
Toby.
Ralph.
Sir,
Good
mayong
morning,
buntag,
sir.
mayong buntag.
Mang buntag.
How's everything, sir?
Well, considering what we've been through the past few months,
Yeah.
everything is okay.
Yeah, I know, right? We were just talking about it in the elevator, how we have been given so many challenges in these past couple of months, right?
Yes.
Earthquake, typhoon, and so on and so forth, and
Still
you know,
ongoing earthquakes and typhoons
the
as well.
flood control scam, and all of that stuff. It seems to be hitting us from all directions, right? Murag, wala takibawa sa atong nahon.
Mm-mm.
Diba? Murag, it feels overwhelming too sometimes,
Yeah.
right?
Very,
Huh?
very overwhelming.
When you feel overwhelmed, Sir Ba, like what do you do with it? Like, if you feel like there's just problems everywhere and you don't know which one to tackle first, what do you do?
Well,
What's the first thing that you do?
Well, in Gawad Kalinga, the culture has always been first to act as a community, rely on each other's community. So we pray, we plan, we do something that we think will become productive, and it sort of gives you a direction and takes your mind off the difficulty of what you actually have to do.
Mm. So, kaning Gawad Kalinga ba? Can you kindly explain to all of us, unsa magyuning Gawad Kalinga? Because I know this is something that's not just happening here in Cebu, but all over the country, right?
Yes.
If
yes.
not the world. So, unsa magyuning Gawad Kalinga?
Well, if you Google us and you do an image search, you'll see our housing, our communities. That's what we're known for. We build houses for the underprivileged. We change their lives by teaching them how to change themselves. But an unknown portion of Gawad Kalinga is that we also do what we call movement building, where we try to do other programs that give people opportunities to volunteer, whether it's feeding in public schools, teaching kids, because our department, our educational system actually is in shambles. So we have other programs outside of our communities.
So, housing for the less fortunate brothers and sisters, is that part of Gawad Kalinga?
Yes, like I said, we're known for that.
Mm.
In Cebu city and province, we have 18 communities.
Mm.
That's about 1,320 families
Mm.
all over, all the way to Bantayan, where we have our biggest community of 330 families. Our smallest community is in Danao, which has 18 families.
Oh, when you say you're in the housing board of Cebu City, what do you mean by that, and what is your role there? And can you give us a sense of where we are now in Cebu City as far as our housing problem is concerned?
Well, the housing board asks certain NGOs and people's organizations to join them, so they can get the viewpoint of other organizations. So, Gawad Kalinga and myself were asked to join. I've been a member of the housing board for almost 3 years now. The outlook for the housing board, for the city of Cebu in general, for the next 3 years is actually pretty good. Our mayor has set a target, a very ambitious target, but I would like to think that what we've been doing the past few months has been going at a faster pace than what we've been doing before.
So, what is our housing crisis? How does it look like? So, how many homes, how many individuals or families don't have any homes? And if they do have homes, are illegal settlers and so on and so forth?
The city of Cebu is targeting to house, I think, almost 2,000 families in the next 3 years. It's quite ambitious, and I don't know if it's achievable, but the plans are in place to create several MRHs, medium-rise housing facilities, all throughout the city. So there has been moves to purchase property, to identify the potential beneficiaries, to set the guidelines on whether it's permanent housing, transitionary housing. So all of these are going on. Every week, we meet every Friday, the housing board. So we go through these things every week, the legal paperwork, the budgeting. So hopefully by middle 2026, everything will start going full swing.
Nakita man na to ang housing problem, like I said in the beginning of this conversation, because of all of the natural calamities, katong earthquake o katong bagyo ni Agi, katong Tino. Si Timo. Silingan ito no, si Tino. Sir, nga naman sir nga, daghan man kaayo ang will put themselves in harm's way by living beside these dangerous areas, like living beside a flood control project. Murag red flag naman nga na flood control project. Niya mo puyo pugid sila sa tapad. Nga no man sir, are they that desperate sir nga wala gid tay lain nga opportunity nga diha na lang sila mo puyo, or maybe that's something that's solvable?
Well, you're correct. No? Wala sila options. If you're going to be a squatter or an illegal settler, you cannot do it on private land. You will get evicted. Even government property is difficult because government properties will always be used. So you go to the most convenient, not convenient, the easiest place to put up a structure, which is generally in areas that are not allowed to be built upon, which are the danger zones, beside the rivers, areas which are landslide prone. Kay what may lain mo tukod dito. So ikaw na lang, 'di ba? Kay it's the easiest place to put up a house.
Technically, who owns that land?
Generally, these are owned by either the national government or the local government.
That's like a domicile rule, 'di ba? Nga if you live in a certain land for so long, you own it.
No.
Does that apply there?
No. There are certain lands which are inalienable, meaning they can never be owned, they can never be moved in, regardless of the domicile rule, whatever. So these are already identified by national laws. So these are generally beside rivers, even the shoreline. There's a setback of I think 15 meters. You know, even if you own the beach, but you don't own the 15 meters from the high tide. There's certain laws in place, and those areas generally are classified as inalienable.
Inalienable, meaning to say no matter how long you will live in that place, you can never own that place.
It can never be titled.
Okay. So, but do you pay taxes for that?
No. No.
Kaya namin uban nga yuta nga dili matitulahan pero naay kanang sidula sa residence tax, di ba?
Well, I don't know what the situation is there, but generally di na pwede. So you're not supposed to be paying anything. You're not supposed to be.
So you mentioned to me a statistic earlier in our conversation nga pipila ka buok kinanglan nato nga himuan og balay diri sa syudad sa Subo. Pila ka buok, more or less how many families or
we're probably looking at 2,000.
2,000.
Yes.
2,000 ka buok pamilya nga.
That's the target because it's hard from the different point of view, from the NGO point of view. It's actually difficult to get the correct number because we have several areas na usa ka balay actually tulo na ka pamilya sa sud, but basig pag ihap-an na it's just one. So numbers can actually be skewed.
So there are 2,000 families or more that we need to build homes for in Cebu City.
Yes. Not all will be in danger zones. Some will probably be illegal settlers. Some are probably living on the streets. So these are people that are homeless or are in dangerous homes.
So we're not talking about kaning multi-million peso houses, right? We're talking about people here that are living in shanties, diba?
Yes.
Because I was imagining it as a problem that's not just here in Cebu but all over the world. But kaning mga housing problems sa ubang nasod, there are actually also homeless people in the United States, for example, diba? Pero kanang magong 2,000 homeless people in Cebu City. That looks like a big number, but not infinitely big. It doesn't look like it's an impossible number to build homes for?
Actually, well, let's classify first. They're not homeless. Some are illegal settlers. Some will probably be squatting on private land.
Okay, okay.
And they might have a little nice homes, but these are people that need to be relocated.
So kaning 2,000 apil ni ang mga tao nga nasa dapin sa daan nga naghigda lang diha o wala sila labot?
Yes, I think that
Okay.
that includes a number.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
they're included.
Okay. So it looks like a big number, 2,000 families that we need to house, but not infinitely big. So what are we doing about it?
Well, the plan of the housing board is to build medium-rise housing. It's more effective. You can build more using smaller spaces because the problem with Cebu City is that we don't have space. Unless we choose to house them in areas in Busay, which will be harder to build, and why mo balhin dito kay layo kay sa trabaho. So we have to build them closer to the city. And the only effective way is to do medium-rise housing. The plan is to do 5-story medium-rise houses because buildings because naibagong ordinance that you can now have a 5-story structure without an elevator. Before it used to be 4 stories. So that's another 100 rooms in a level. So that's quite a big increase in the capacity of what we can do.
So asa man nilagi plano og build, sir, since we can't build in the hillsides of mountains of Cebu?
Actually, ang uban will be in the hillside.
Okay.
Not necessarily hillside, but maybe sloping areas. Like I was talking to you before, the one in Budlaan, which will actually be on a sloping area.
Okay.
I don't know if I can talk about the whole project, but there will be a substantial number of families that will be relocated there once the budget is in place. I think right now we are looking at hopefully about maybe 6 to 8 medium-rise houses, buildings in the next 2 years at least.
You know, kaning problemaha ba, this is a very Herculean task and it requires both the private sector and the government. Diba? And I think we were talking about it earlier how Gawad Kalinga, although you are an NGO, right?
Yes.
You want to work with the LGUs, with the government.
Yes.
Tell us about that, sir. Tell us about what Gawad Kalinga is doing independently here in Cebu City, and what are the projects that you have collaborated with the Cebu City government?
Okay. It depends on what the agreement is with regards to building our site. Generally, we try to have the property that's being donated to us donated to the local government. Why? Because if the property is owned by the local government, there are several benefits, meaning the local government can spend for site development, attachment of electricity, drainage, using local government budget because it's their property. If it's continuously owned by the private individual, our homeowners have to pay the realty taxes, so on and so forth. So it becomes a more difficult on their end. So we try to do both. We have projects that the property is owned by, still owned by the donor or owned now by the homeowners, and property is owned by the local government.
So how about those what particular projects are you working with the government right now currently?
Well, like the one in Budlaan, the expansion, part of that will still be Gawad Kalinga because several of our homeowners were displaced. So we will be building structures in the new area identified by the local government. Outside of Cebu, we actually have several. Out of our 18 communities, only 4 are in Mandaue and Cebu City. All the others are in different municipalities all throughout. So we have continuous expansion. In some of our communities, the local government is building evacuation centers, making use of the property because it's their property. So we don't mind working hand in hand with them as long as the project is well done, properly executed, no corruption. We try to do whenever we partner with local government, we try to make it as effective, as useful to the community, and we try to safeguard everything.
When you say no corruption, sir, what are your ways and means in which you make sure that that doesn't happen?
Because like in Gawad Kalinga, we have several people that volunteer with us that are engineers, that are people that work in the auditing. So when we have a partnership with the local government, we ask them to work hand in hand. So we know that when there are certain costs, when there are certain things to be done, everything is above board.
Mm. So, unsa man na, sir, like when you say you want to make sure that everything is above board, do you know what it is? Like, do you have like a policy, a process, or what? Because I think we need to learn from in NGOs such as Gawad Kalinga on how to make sure that corruption doesn't happen.
Well, we just make sure that because the government has its own process, we just follow that process and we make sure that we're there every step of the way to take a look that.
So
at
monitoron yun
yes,
ninyo?
monitor.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, I mentioned earlier we have a MOA at the DILG,
Okay.
which now we are auditing several projects with the help in partnership with the DILG to see if the project is completed and its social economic impact to the community. So we make sure that when a bridge is built, that is actually being effective and serving a good portion of community, not being built just to spend funds. So that's part of our MOA that we signed with the DILG a few months ago. We will be implementing it in Cebu. Hopefully, we're supposed to start doing it, but with everything happening right now, it's quite difficult. So we will do it once things quiet down in Cebu.
Pangutanon ka na karon taod, sir, unsaon nimo pag pasar, unsaon nimo pag qualify to be able to take advantage of the housing project of Gawad Kalinga or even the government. But I'll ask you that question later on. But first, you mentioned in the beginning of our conversation, you're not just about building homes; you're also about building communities.
Yes.
Can you explain further, sir? What or how does a Gawad Kalinga community look like?
Okay. At the start, we are given property. We look for sponsorships for the houses, and we look for people to put in these houses. Sometimes we are given lists by the government, people that need to be relocated. Sometimes the donor might need some people that are squatters on his land to be part of the development. Then we profile them. We check if they're actually the poorest of the poor. We go to their houses, we do interviews, we slowly look around of what their houses contain. And then we rank them from 1 to whatever, how many people that we need to house. And then we ask them from number 1 to number 40, whatever, if you want to be part of a community, that there are certain requirements before you can be part. Like I mentioned earlier, you have to do 1,000 hours of work to be able to move in. You have to attend certain amount of values formation classes. We organize you into a homeowners association with officers, with monthly dues that go to the association, so on and so forth, so that it creates a community. Because we feel that if we just put you in a house without equipping you how to become a useful member of society, the lifestyle or the attitude that you had before, you will just be bringing into that community, and it's just a matter of time before the community becomes not so nice.
Kana imong 1,000 hours of work, that sounds like a penalty. Like, mura man kag piniriso na, di ba? Explain to us, sir, why do you require 1,000 hours of work, and is it 1,000 hours per person or 1,000 hours per household?
Okay, it's 1,000 hours per household.
Okay.
And the reason why we do it is that we call it the dignity of ownership. Because if something is given to you for free, generally you will not take care of it. But if you've put in a certain amount of sacrifice to be able to earn that house, then you will take care of it. So we ask our potential homeowners to do the 1,000 hours so they will see and they will feel that they've earned it.
So kung ganahan ko, sir, maka-beneficyo ni aning socialized housing, dili man ni free housing, right? This is not totally completely free. Can you give us the different models of housing? Because I think we talked about it in our earlier conversation. What are the kinds of housing that we offer to the less fortunate?
Actually, Gawad Kalinga is free.
Free na siya.
Gawad Kalinga is
Okay,
free.
but you mentioned earlier in our
Yes,
conversation.
for the city.
So
for,
kaning Gawad Kalinga ihatag yun ni siya.
well,
As long as
the relationship between the homeowner and Gawad Kalinga is it's called usufruct, meaning you're living for free
okay.
because there are certain rules that you have to follow
Yeah,
while
yeah.
you live there.
Yeah.
So
As
there
long as you
may
follow
be
the rules.
yes, as long as you follow the rules, you're staying for free.
Okay.
In fact, we even have rules how you can pass it on to your descendants.
Mm.
We feel that's important because you have to have rules in a community
Correct,
so that
yeah.
people learn how to change how they live and pass that on.
Mm.
So if you violate those rules, there are certain consequences.
And eviction is one of those, right?
Yes, eviction is
So
one of those.
that's Gawad Kalinga, which is 100% totally and completely free. But as far as the government is concerned, what are the different socialized housing that we can take advantage?
Right now, there are two models in government.
Okay.
One is the transitionary housing. There's one in Lorega right now. You get to live in it's a 4-story walk-up, not for free. You pay rent. I think it's 1,200, maybe 1,500 pesos a month for 3 years. You sign a contract with the government. You're identified, you're profiled again as well, and you stay there for 3 years. Then you're asked to move on so that they can put other people in. And you're supposed to take advantage of those 3 years to improve yourself so that you can afford something better. The other model is you move into a medium rise and you will be paying like a condominium. You will be paying to own it. So that's the other model that the Cebu City Housing Board is looking at.
At a subsidized cost, or
Yes, very subsidized
okay.
cost.
Like for example, give me an idea how much would the monthly fees
That
be?
one I don't know
Okay.
because the problem with Cebu right now in the past 2 years is that our costs have been skyrocketing.
Okay.
So Cebu is booming. There's so much construction.
We have been booming for the past 50 years.
Yes. Actually, to give you an idea, in Gawad Kalinga, when we hired skilled workers, the cost today compared to 4 years ago is almost times 2.5.
Okay.
So that's just to hire the skilled
Maybe
worker.
you meant the prices are booming. Is that what you mean?
Yes. The prices are skyrocketing.
Kana atong housing problem diri sa syudad sa Sugbo, sir ba? Is it would you be able to know if it's improving or it's getting worse? Would you have an idea? I'm sure because you're in the housing board, right? Ano tanaw nimo, sir?
Well, there are so many developments in Cebu right now being built.
Okay.
And it's a requirement under law that when you have a project, a housing project, whether it's a vertical, horizontal, that a certain portion goes to socialized housing. So when we talk about the housing boom, the housing increase in Cebu, the socialized housing portion will always be pulled along with that. So meaning we will be having a boom in the number of units for socialized housing as well. The difficulty and the hard part is making sure that the people that get to take advantage of that socialized housing portion are the people that really need it.
So how socialized is socialized housing?
The classification right now, I think, is at 700,000 pesos
Okay.
for it to be classified as socialized housing.
Okay.
So that means that a person should be able to spend 700,000 pesos to be able to live in that socialized
So
housing.
kaning socialized housing, this is for major property developers.
No, not just major. Every developer
Okay.
has to have a socialized housing
So
portion.
a certain percentage of their
Yes.
development.
Yes.
So asa man nila i-build within the subdivision or within the property?
No,
Or unsa man?
the only
Anywhere.
requirement before, it used to be you could actually build it anywhere in the Philippines.
Oh.
But in Cebu City now, we have an ordinance that if your project is in Cebu City, your socialized housing also has to be in Cebu City.
Oh, okay.
So expect a lot of socialized housing, maybe in the fringes of the city, because that's where property is readily available.
So kanang ang socialized housing ingon ka nga ang amount gipeg nila is 700,000.
I think it's going up actually.
Oh yeah, so
Yes.
so which brings me to my next question. So now, who decides on the price? Is it immune to the market forces, or it's still market forces driven?
It's a national. It's a figure pegged by the national body,
Okay.
National Housing Association,
Oh.
NHA. So they're the ones that I don't know what their formula is. They're the ones that say that this is the amount that qualifies a project as socialized housing.
Okay. So unsa man na siya, annual ni siya?
No, I think it's reviewed every 3 years.
Every 3 years.
Yeah, I'm
So
not sure.
so
but I think
pananglitan 700,000 ang amount nga gipeg nila sa socialized housing project unya paghuman within the 3 years something seismic happens to the market niya mo increase ang value of property, it's immune to that.
yes, it's supposed to be.
So
immune to
so na mga murag 3-year immunity mahulog.
sorry, I'm not. Yes.
Maybe something like that,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Maybe
yes.
something like that. So, but going back to Gawad Kalinga, give us a sense, sir, like because you're not just like you said, you're not just building homes, you're building communities. Unsa may vibe, sir, sa Osaka Gawad Kalinga community?
Hard to say because, like I said, in Bantayan we have a community that's 330 families. Imagine how many small arguments you have to
Yeah.
go through every day. And
So na yung murag head sa kuan sa
yeah, we organize them. They have officers. So
murag
each,
murag kaning mga sana kanang homeowners community,
yes,
di ba?
there's a homeowners association.
Okay.
They are registered with the SHOD, Department of Socialized Housing and Urban Development. I
Okay,
think.
okay.
So they have to have elections. They have elections every year, and they submit the results. There's a COMELEC that the SHOD sends to oversee the election. There are real.
So this is a more consequential homeowners association kay kanang mga homeowners sa among subdivision sa uban siguro murag dili man kay na siya consequential in the sense nga mo decide lang ka kung pwede ba magbutang o Christmas decoration or whatever, right? Pero kaning inani nga this is really serious kanang COMELEC go, di ba?
Yes.
So this is really serious.
In our type of communities, small decisions maybe have a bigger effect compared to some other communities, like where I live. The board decides, and it's like, okay, it's fine. But for them, sometimes it's a small thing makes a big difference. A small thing like deciding whether or not you can have pets, or what the rules are regarding pets. Okay, naghaman sila stray dogs and their houses are small, so you have to go through. Mas grabe sila decide, mag-discuss sa mga ingana na things kaysa sa ato, I guess.
Yeah, pag human, they have a common experience in the sense nga they all went through 1,000 hours of service, diba? So does it become like a real community, like a small country in and of itself?
We try to have them decide everything for themselves
Okay.
by empowering them.
Okay.
But just like life in general, there'll always be arguments, people not getting along. Like in Budlaan, that's actually 4 different urban poor groups that the city gave us, and we
Okay.
put together in one community.
Okay.
So imagine how difficult it was to have 4 different organizations now interact with each other. You had your own officers before. You have, now you put them under one roof basically, and have asked them, okay, work together. So it was quite a task. I mean, it took quite a while for them to finally be able to be united, but they are now.
So they're now a community
Yes.
that's united, and I can imagine this is a more kind cohesive community, like a small tribe, right?
Yes.
More than any other community that we know, because aside from the actual tribesmen. Because kaning naman sila commonality ba?
Yes.
And you mentioned earlier that you also have more educational programs, right? That you sometimes offer to the Gawad Kalinga dwellers, right?
We used to, before K to 12, we actually had a preschool in every Gawad Kalinga community.
Okay.
We were accredited by the DepEd, and so the kids in the community would not have to go far to go to preschool. So and then eventually they would have to go to elementary in the public school in their area, so on and so forth. But we tried to provide opportunities for learning. Like we have what we call a Maleta library. So the books from Big Bad Wolf, we choose them, the educational books. We go to each community. We teach kids how to read, how to understand the story, the moral of the story. And then from there, they get to become better readers in school, to love education in general.
Aka na bang gihisgot mo ganiha, sir, ba nga? Urban poor. Is that like a random label that you put on people, or is this based on something? How do you become part of the urban poor?
There's actually a department in the city that where you can register yourself or your organization as urban poor. So it's important because the city will always need numbers, whether it's for ayuda, whether it's for identifying certain things, like let's say the pandemic, we need X amount of vaccines. So you have to identify yourself as urban poor and register as urban poor so that you can avail of these things, you can be taken care of by the city.
Even prioritized.
Prioritized.
Hopefully.
Yes.
So I'll circle back to my initial question earlier. So kaning urban poor, in terms of taking advantage of the socialized housing by the number one, the real estate developers, number two, the LGU, the government's socialized housing programs, and the Gawad Kalinga homes, is this the list where you get your future dwellers from? Is this where you get them? From the urban poor list?
Yes, mostly, because these are the ones, because within the urban poor groups, they will also be identified as living in danger zones or certain classifications as well.
So possibly nga dili ka urban poor pero you're living in a danger zone?
If you're not registered, because you have to be identified.
Okay.
If you don't register yourself, then you cannot be identified.
So you get your list from the
numbers,
the number of urban poor. So would you know how many are classified as urban poor in Cebu City?
No, sorry.
But
that might be quite a big number.
Yeah, I can imagine, right? Because daghan magyuga yung mga mahog og mga illegal settlers diri sa Cebu. So kanang inyuhang Gawad Kalinga ba, which you are ahead of, how do you take advantage of this particular free housing? Unsa, do you have a list for example na inaminaw nato karong adlaw ni ganahan sila mopuyo sa usa ka balay nga gi-offer sa Gawad Kalinga? Is there like a process?
Yes, we actually have a list. So what we do is what you do is if you're not identified in the list that's given to us by the LGU or some other group to be relocated, you have to write a letter of intent.
Okay.
That you want to be part of a GK community and where you are right now, so that we can go to you and profile you and put you on that list.
Okay.
Because we have to profile you first so that we can put you on the list. You cannot be on the list without profiling. And then you will be ranked because we rank those people we profile from the poorest to the not so poor. And then hopefully as donations come in and locations come in, you may be able to be given a house.
Donations, locations. What do you mean? How does Gawad Kalinga get its resources?
Mostly from donations.
Okay.
The houses are built by resources from donors from the US, generally from bigger companies.
Okay.
Because right now it's like I said, very expensive to build a house. So it's actually easier to do other programs than building houses, but we still try to build as many houses as we can.
I'm curious, sir, ba, you obviously want to live in a world like this is obvious for me. I don't know if it's obvious to other people, but you obviously want to live in a world where there's nobody who's homeless, right?
Yes.
I mean, even if you're ultra rich, even if you're a gazillionaire, you'd rather that you live in a world where everybody has a home, right? This feels like something that is universal. I am curious, sir. There's enough rich people in this city that can perhaps eradicate homelessness here in Cebu. Why isn't that happening, sir? What do you think is happening here?
Well, it's a lack of understanding sometimes. I had a conversation with a friend a while back. Some people think that homeless or squatters or people in difficulty are lazy.
So they think that poor people are lazy,
Yes.
right?
But in my experience, and I ask people to do the same, when you go to a GK community and you interview people that have improved, you will learn that it was not laziness, it was lack of opportunity.
Mm.
If you don't have a job, tambay lang ka.
Mm.
Or it could be, there's a story in a GK village in Lorega. It used to be a cemetery. So the city declared it unsafe, took out the cemetery. We built a 4-story walk-up. One of the men there could not get a job before. He was skilled. He had lots of skills. He couldn't get a job because he didn't have an address, because he was an illegal settler.
Mm.
Once he could put in his application form address Gawad Kalinga, Condoville, Lorega, people would now hire him.
Mm.
So he wasn't lazy, but he couldn't get a job.
So ana naka-importante ang naa kay balay.
Yes.
Because number one, this is just a practical example, and there are many examples which I will ask you. Na kay address ibutang sa imong application letter.
Yes.
Di ba? Kay kung kuyaw kay kasanan kung wa kay address in PM siguro man siya, di ba?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
ang sunod akong pangutana, sir, is can you give us, I know this might be self-explanatory and self-evident to all of us here in this room, right? But probably there's some people out there who are living under a rock. What are the benefits of owning a home?
Well,
Aside from that one thing that you mentioned.
security, being able to, be able to lock a door, or even bigger picture than that, you're in a community.
Mm.
You're in a GK community. So you will learn to look out for each other. Bantay akong anak ka diot kay
Mm-mm.
na ko'y adtuon,
Mm.
things like that. Things like this happen now.
Mm.
Compared to living in areas where it's difficult.
Mm.
Electricity.
Mm.
Having a meter for water, utilities attached to your, aside from the responsibility of
Mm.
learning to pay for it, having it regularly supplied to you so that your health, your, other things are addressed. These are the parts of the things that, a lot of us take for granted because we have homes.
Mm.
Being able to have a place where you can, it's hygienic, to cook, to sleep, these are things that
Not to mention dignity, right?
dignity. Exactly. You can say that I live somewhere,
Mm.
that I have a home, that, where my kids can sleep.
A lot of us forget and probably disregard or maybe don't even consider how lucky we are, right? To have a place to stay, to have roof over our heads, right? To have a bed to sleep on, right? And it could have been us who were in their places, right? But by some stupefying luck, we're not, right? And some people overestimate their hard work and underestimate the role of luck that plays in their lives, right? Don't you get that feeling sometimes, Toby?
Yes. Maybe sometimes you try to call it luck. We call it a lot of things. We call it karma. But life really just is so complex that you cannot tell where you'll be in 3 years, up or down, or maybe just sideways if you're lucky.
Mm.
But that's how difficult things can be. So you have to try to understand. What we try to do is we try to understand people as where they are. It's so easier to judge, and then
Pobre ka kay
yeah.
tabulan ka, di ba?
Yes, exactly. But you're saying luck,
Mm.
karma. you missed out on your appointment. You didn't have a address to write in your application form.
And you were born, you were
Yeah.
born in this situation, and you couldn't help but
Or you were middle class, but then a typhoon
wiped out your
everything.
house.
Yeah. These are things that. So the best thing to do is just to help without judging. At certain times.
Unya, kung dato sa ka sir, wa pa man ko na dato sa, so I don't really know if I'm correct sa, but kung dato sa ka, some rich people just dig in, right? Dig in and just try, instead of helping others, try to protect their wealth. Instead of building a community that does not have any homeless people.
Well, I can't blame them because I know a lot of I know a few people, my friends, that became rich because of hard work. So they try to
dig in
because
protect their wealth.
Yeah, because I've worked hard for this.
Yeah.
And again, they look at other people. Oh, he's not working hard. So
Yeah,
why
but
should
see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
They attribute solely to hard work.
Yes. Well,
When can do you think they ever thought of how lucky they are? Some of these people.
Well, it's a mindset.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound biblical, but
Yeah.
Go
ahead, man. You can go biblical on my batacal area anytime.
No, but the reason why you work hard and you get blessed is so that you can pass it on. You can bless others who may not have the same opportunities to work hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say you work hard, but sometimes you don't have the opportunity to work hard. And that causes your difficulties. But if you work hard and you get blessed, then just pass it on. I mean, that's why you were given the opportunity to work hard and to be blessed.
Yeah, and like you said, it's also possible not to have the opportunity
Yes.
to have something to work hard for.
Yes.
And that's probably even worse than
It's even
the
worse.
drudgery of work itself,
Yes,
diba?
yes.
To have no opportunities, and it's not just laziness.
Not.
It could also be something that is going on in your brain, in your mind, right? It could be a psychological condition, right? You could be depressed or whatever, right?
There are certain inabilities that health science has been discovering over the past few years. Some people can't think certain ways.
Yeah.
And these could be it. They're just they don't have the opportunities to be diagnosed that they have that. So
And then they're diagnosed by their parents as lazy.
yeah.
Pula na nimo, Ralph, oy! Uy, sige katuog niya, Ralph. Sama ka, Ralph, oy. So mo na siya nga, I think it's important that especially those that have more to think about that nga. Naswertian lang mo nga you are where you are now. The tables could have easily been turned if you weren't as lucky as you are now. One of the reasons why we are here having this conversation, sir, is I had a conversation with architect Nicolas San Jose. Nicolas San Jose. Unya naghisgot siya. We were talking about Edwin San Nicolas. I'm sorry, that's his name. Naghisgot siya nga because we were talking about corruption. Naghisgot siya nga when there was an incident where he was with the donors of the housing project, which is assisted by or collaborated with Gawad Kalinga. Nga nahibong kuno siya nga ang mga balay kuno sa uban nga mga dwellers sa Gawad Kalinga na mga LED TV nga mas dako pa sa ilang LED TV. Unya naapa ko ni uban na nagpuyo diha nga dili taga diha or do not deserve to be part of the housing project. Can you speak to that, sir? What's your response to that?
Well, I actually had that same conversation with the wife of my friend who was volunteering in that same community. She had the exact same experience. She was talking about the big TV, so on and so forth. The background, Budlaan is, I mentioned earlier. It's at Budlaan,
that's the project that he was talking about. Yeah.
So it's 4 different urban poor communities.
Okay.
It went through difficulties. That's why some of them are not local. Some are from Abolo. Some are from so on and so forth. But I'd like to address the TV. In fact, engineer might be shocked. Some of our communities, some of the people now have cars.
Oh.
Maybe not spectacular cars, but they have four-wheeled vehicles.
Dilim ka katong naipayong ka sir. Katong naipayong.
Dili.
Sa na to.
Dili.
Oh.
Ang payong niya katong bambura.
Bambura nga. Okay.
No, pero, if you go to a community, you volunteer, you spend enough time, you'll understand some people's situations. A lot of people assign value to themselves by what they have. So, maybe if I've been living in GK for a couple of years and I've been able to save, the smart thing, the ideal thing for us looking at our homeowners would be they would set aside some money for insurance, for education, but sometimes they end up buying an LED TV because it feels like it adds to their value. Just like us, you were talking about buying a car with an umbrella. Some people will buy that car with that umbrella because it feels like it adds value to them, to their value as people. So it happens. It may not be ideal, but it happens. So in some GK communities, you will see nice TVs, you will see cars.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I mentioned earlier that actually already started happening 30 years ago. When I was in college, I was sent to in my college, you're sent to an area where you're supposed to stay and live with underprivileged people for X amount of days. I was sent to an OFW town in Pampanga, and when you'd walk into their houses, you'd find huge boomboxes. Okay, boomboxes, 1990s.
Panahon na nimo sir.
Panahon na ako. And you'd find chocolates in the ref.
Okay.
Because OFW. So pag uli sa OFW,
magpadaog balik bayan box.
mag-agig duty free. Diba?
Oh.
Palit og boombox, palit og chocolate. So that's what's inside their house.
Yeah.
Because that's what added value to their lives.
And it could also be nga they lack financial education as well.
Exactly.
Diba?
That's why I mentioned ideally it should be insurance, education, so on and so forth. Setting aside to repair their houses when it's raining. But hopefully that's where the value formation comes in.
Yeah.
That eventually it will seep in. But we cannot deny that it doesn't work all the time or that some people just want to buy a nice TV. So it happens. You will walk into we're not saying GK is perfect, but you will walk into a house, GK house, and you'll find a nice TV, maybe a car, But
your screening process, you're confident about your screening process.
Yes, because we go to their before they get to move in. What happens after is maybe their kids are now scholars, or you were talking about getting a car because you're top 10
top notchers and nursing
top
board
notchers,
exams.
na kay auto, but you live in a GK side, or you get your
So you
tuition
don't
back for free.
you don't know the real story.
Yeah, unless you really go interview, ask him, why do you have a TV? Diba? So these things happen. So ideally, the value formation will get through, but sometimes it doesn't, or sometimes they just really want to buy a TV.
I think what he was saying, sir, is he was trying to demonstrate how corruption is not just exclusively to the highest positions of the land, but has seeped down to the urban poor level, right?
Yeah, that's why we're talking. That's why we have to do profiling. And our profiling is we go to the person's house. Apply si Jiggy. At tuwing nato ni sa balay, asa man gibutang address, di na daw tapad sa Mahiga Creek. At tuon na mo, we'll go into your structure. We have volunteers that are trained to do this. We'll go into your house, take a look around. Uy, naaman siya'y dito pa lang, gwapo na imong TV. So you will be lower on the profile list because you are ranked. So you will be lower on the list. If you still end up getting in, that means the other 40, 30 people ahead of you either said no or for some reason didn't qualify. So that's how you got in. But
how many are in that list? How many are in that list?
It depends because the list is only started once there's a project. So let's say we have donations and are tasked to build 50 houses in Talisay. And we have a site in Talisay which was washed. I mean, it was roof high, but all the houses are still there. But let's say we build in Talisay. So we are given a list of people that are relocated, either danger zone or Then we do the profiling and we go through that list. So we try to, that list is really prepared by volunteers on the Gawad Kalinga side, not by the LGU, not by their suggestions, sometimes by the donor, especially if it has squatters. But that's part of the package because he donated land.
Kung namoy mga pangutana mga kahigalaan, this is Toby Florendo, the head of Gawad Kalinga here in Cebu. And please feel free to comment your questions, your suggestions, or your whatnots, whatever you want. Or maybe your shout outs. Just post it on our Facebook page, Tops Media Center, on YouTube, Tops Media Center, on TikTok, Tops Media Center, on our website, topsmediacenter.com. Moving forward, Mr. Toby Florendo, what are we doing with these, what you said are 2,000 families, could be bigger, on the Cebu City list of homelessness, or at least those that are living in harm's way?
Well, the plan is again to relocate them to medium-rise housing in the next few years.
Okay.
Our mayor is really working hard. I mean, I've never seen the housing board been as busy as I have in the past 3 years, as it has been in the past 4 months. So we just wish everything goes smoothly. The purchasing of the properties, the creation of the guidelines for both the transition and permanent housing, even the identification, because again, that's one of the problems, because at a certain level, nagid palakasan. I mean, sa barangay captains, so that all of that works out.
How do you minimize, not even completely totally eliminate it? How do you minimize palakasan? Because that's a very Pinoy trait.
Yes. Well, I don't know I can't speak on the Cebu City side because I don't know the process. On Gawad Kalinga, because we profile them, we rank them, generally they'll be lower on the list. I mean, we show our partners the list, so they will see the people that they want, meaning the squatters that are on their property, so on and so forth, on the list. But if their squatter already had a cement structure, and again with maybe 2 motorcycles, they'll be lower on the list. So we still rank them, but we still base it on what they have. So
you must get indecent proposals, huh?
We just don't even bother listening to indecent proposals.
Labi ng mga inana kanang mga kalakasay lagi ba, di ba? I don't want to mention any specific positions, but like what you see in the national news is actually also happening in the barangay news as well, right? I mean, like, grabe yung kayo how do you call this? Prevalent ang corruption.
I would like to think that I've been, because of GK, I've been working with a lot of officials, local, low level, meaning barangay, and up to mayor level for the past maybe 10, 12 years. I would think most of them are doing their best. A few of them are very good, quite straight. But it only takes 1 or 2 mistakes, bad eggs, and it affects the entire system. So when there's a bad egg here, sometimes it'll affect the people that are not bad. I mean, it because it's a system. So that's why lisod na naaka sa gobyerno. Kay bisag ikaw tarong ka, if somebody in your department is not, it will affect you. It will reflect on you.
As far as the perception goes,
yes,
also,
as the
diba?
perception goes. Ang department, ana mana. What can you do? You can still only try to do your best. So, government is still the backbone of society. So we just have to work with them. What GK tries to do is we work with them, but we just try to make sure that whenever we work with them, we try to make it as strict and as straight as possible, because if we don't work with government, who else can we work with? There's nobody with that system in place. There's nobody with that much resources in place.
So what you're saying is, no matter how corrupt you think or government really is, the government is the best we got. That's
Yes.
the only process, and that's the only institution that can help us, right? So whether we like it or not, we have to work with it, right?
Yes, you have
And
to work with it.
as far as changing it, you can do your small part in trying to make things better by doing the right thing in
Yes.
that small thing that you're
Yes.
doing, right? Or maybe even running for office if you like, right? And
Million. I mean, these few people. I want to mention a Cebu mayor that I think is along that path, but I don't want to get into politics locally. But they're there. You have to find them, keep them, champion them, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but in the end, you still have to work with government.
Yeah. So I think that's a very important realization, Banga. Whether you like it or not, you have to go through the government because that's the way this society works. That's the democratic process, right? And whether you like it or not, and Gawad Kalinga has been around for how long?
As a separate organization by itself, we're on our 25th year next year.
What do you mean by as a separate
We used to
organization?
be a program under Couples for Christ.
Oh, okay.
Then it's separated because GK was getting a little big, and there was a change in focus. Because our founder realized that poverty is everywhere, not just in Christian communities, not just in Catholic communities. So we have communities in Muslim areas in Mindanao.
Wow, okay.
We reach out to indigenous people. Wherever there's poverty, we try to help because poverty, like you said, is universal. Homelessness is everywhere in the world. So you have to figure that out at different levels because each community, each relationship, whether it's with our Muslim brothers, whether it's with our Christian, Catholic, it's a different dynamic. So you have to figure it out each time.
Gawad Kalinga is a non-governmental government organization, and it thrives on your donations, your volunteerism, right? Do you have like a scheduled fundraising campaign if there's a project, or can anybody at any random day just volunteer or donate, sir, sa Gawad Kalinga? How does it work?
We have a website for our national website for donations for different programs, our reading, our feeding programs. It's called GK1 World.
Okay.
The letter G, the letter K, the number 1, world.com. We accept donations there. You can also contact us on our Facebook page locally, GK Cebu, on Facebook. If you want to volunteer, if you want to donate locally, directly, there are opportunities for that because we have different programs locally, nationally. We have different responses for relief locally, nationally. So it's.
Tell me about what you are doing right now because you mentioned earlier that you are in like a non-stop relief giving mode this past couple of weeks.
Yes, it has been.
Tell us about what you're currently doing right now as Gawad Kalinga.
Okay. It was different in the sense that both earthquake and typhoon at the same time, and the typhoon was flooding. So we prepared for the earthquake up north. We prepared relief packs for I think a total of 1,800 families. So we distributed it in 3 different. We used our GK communities up north, one in Bogo, one in San Romeo, one in Daanbantayan, as centers to distribute relief goods for the entire barangay. Like for San Romeo, we gave for the entire barangay through our GK site. So we brought the goods up there. And our homeowners, our kapitbahayans, we call them kapitbahayans.
Kapitbahayans, okay.
Yeah, we're the ones that distributed it to their barangay.
How did the Gawad Kalinga built homes hold up with recent earthquakes or earthquake and typhoon?
Well, there's damage.
Okay.
So we were asked, we were going to start assessing, but we were advised that we should start assessing late November because there'll be aftershocks. In fact, up to I think last week there were still 2.9, 3.1 aftershocks. So we are starting the assessment now, and we'll be proceeding with repair. But there are no there's no major structural damage, as we can tell, as so far as.
Like we mentioned earlier, homelessness is not just a Cebu problem. It's not just a Philippine problem, but a global problem, right? I know you're only in charge of the area, right? Cebu, right? But in terms of how we can move the needle in the homelessness problem here in the Philippines, based on what you've heard or learned from other countries, other creative ways of solving the housing problem in the world, like what do you recommend that we do here in the Philippines?
Well,
As Gawad Kalinga.
the easiest answer is build more houses.
Okay.
But there are other ways. Interestingly enough, I was in Japan on vacation to watch the expo.
Okay.
Shout out to the Philippines. We won second best exhibit. At
What
the
expo? What expo is this?
In Osaka.
What's the
World
theme?
Expo.
What is that?
The World Expo. It's every 2 years. It's held in different countries. So
Is
it
that-
was held in Japan.
Is it technology expo?
It's just called the World Expo.
So it's anything.
It's anything. So
Okay.
each country showcases. The Philippines, we won
Oh wow.
second best exhibit.
Okay, so who represented us in Japan?
We had an exhibit. It's a small building.
Okay.
And funny enough, shout out that it was built by a Cebuano,
Oh,
our structure,
Okay.
a friend of mine,
Okay. What's his name?
John Go.
Oh wow. Congratulations.
Okay.
So-
When I was in Japan, I was talking to someone, and they have a unique solution to homelessness in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see many homeless people in Japan,
Mm.
but they are there.
Mm.
So what the Japanese government provides is affordable places to stay overnight.
Mm.
And the homeless can pay by doing things like recyclable material. They
Mm.
bring it there. If they have X amount, they get to stay for free.
So what is this look like? It's not a home, right?
No,
What
it's
is this,
different.
like
It's buildings, transition shelters, so
Okay.
they can stay the night.
Mm. So it is a home.
Yeah, it's a building with rooms.
Okay.
Dormitory style. So you bring your recyclable material. You can stay for the night. They give you one meal.
Mm.
So the homeless, the person I was talking to say, the homeless help clean, look for stuff, and then they bring it there. And they get to stay for the
Wow,
night,
okay.
and then they get one free meal.
Okay.
So
That's an interesting solution.
yeah. So the whole day, they're homeless, but they're walking around trying to look for things that they can bring there, so they can have some place to sleep and eat during the night, the night.
Well, can they stay there for a prolonged period of time, or just one night?
No. Well, they have to have what they pay with.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
can either pay cash
Oh,
or with the things that they have collected.
yeah, like
And
trash. whatever.
and that gets them to stay for one night.
Wow, very interesting.
Yeah. So
Very
I-
creative, right?
Yeah, because I was wondering, we were there for maybe 5 days, and I only saw one homeless person in
Really?
5 days.
Okay, he doesn't
So-
look Filipino, right?
No, so
I'm just kidding.
so I asked a friend, and that's he told me that's how in Osaka, that's how they provide a system like that.
Oh wow.
So I don't know if we can do that here, but there are different ways to treat homelessness in general. We just have to figure out a way that fits for our culture, our country, our weather, or whatever
So,
it is.
do you have any thoughts
No.
on how
That
to?
I'm already trying to find donors for houses. I don't
Okay.
know if I can come up with that
Uh,
with another way.
Another solution, right?
Yeah.
Kagabi lang kami ni Ralph, we were watching a stage play in STC. Unya sa gawa sa STC daghang kayong mga homeless ba isa?
Yeah.
When you made a turn daghang kayo dito mga homeless niya. Ang uban ra ba ani sir? Nakabantay ka nga homeless sila pero dili sila Bisaya ba? Mura sila kaning lain sila og sinultian, di ba? Ang naon sa man asam ni gikan atong mga uban mga homeless diri sa Cebu, sir? I'm curious ba where do they come from and why are they here?
Well, the thing is, homeless will always go to bigger cities because aside from
Why?
mas daghan mo hatag kay
Okay.
syudad, di ba?
Oh,
When you go to a stoplight,
Oh.
there are also opportunities for little things, little jobs.
Mm.
Mahar kag tao na,
Mm.
di ba? Olimpio, whatever,
Mm.
So, or So there's an underground economy, I guess, for
But
homeless people.
isn't living in a more rural area give you more opportunity to raise your own food?
That's what we would think.
Oh.
We have communities.
Is that an incorrect?
Yes, it's not a good perception, or it's a misconception.
Nga
We have
naman, sir.
communities in Dumanhog, Daan Bantayan, some in Toledo that's edges of the city, so it's rural.
Mm.
But it's not easy to raise things when you don't have the technology,
Mm.
the capability. It's not like you raise a chicken by just letting it roam.
Mm.
You still have to have the capability to fix your chicken coop, and you still have to have access to feeds. These are things that we often take for granted because sa una man gud hayahay mo uli sa probinsya. Now the province also doesn't have opportunities. When you're talking about raising livestock or growing food, it does not automatically translate to not being hungry. Diba?
So it's a misconception to think nga kung nakas probinsya, you can be self-sufficient. It requires a lot of skills also.
Yes, you have to have skill. You
yeah,
have to have resources.
Yeah.
No matter how small, you have to have
Yeah.
resources.
So I think that also should be part of our education, ba? Or maybe we should teach people how to be self-sufficient, right? Because I know there are people who would like to live a self-sufficient life. Kind of people who want to live off the grid, ba, di ba?
Yeah.
Yes.
Diba?
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, pero sa among high school, okay, we actually did have like animal husbandry
Hoy,
classes.
husband kisa yung husband.
Dili ba? Kanang how to take care of animals, basically.
Ah,
Mga
okay,
classes
okay.
ba?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're losing farmers because their kids are moving to the city to look for work.
Yeah.
So, ang transfer of technology, whether no matter how, doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know we're getting off tangents, but they're saying mga even the Spaniards knew about this. Nga the Philippines is not actually a very agricultural country. I mean, we have a lot of land, but mga bukid, lisod kuno tamnan and all of that stuff. We're more of a fishing kuno and so on and so forth. We're not very agricultural.
Maybe
it's a misconception
the Visayas,
though.
maybe the Visayas.
Yeah.
But I think Mindanao is. I actually grew up in Mindanao.
Okay.
And it's very rich in terms of what you
good
want.
land.
Yeah, in good land.
Oh.
Yeah, very.
Just that they haven't been able to figure out. There are areas. There's miles and miles of pineapple, bananas, whatever.
Yeah.
But it hasn't translated to the poor.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should figure that out. I think
Yeah.
that's another conversation.
Yeah. Maybe somebody who's good at that. can answer that.
Yeah. So, it's such an illuminating morning today. Thank you so much, Toby Florendo,
Yes.
sir, the member of the housing board of Cebu City and the head of Gawad Kalinga here in Cebu. I know that Gawad Kalinga itself was displaced, and you are actually also homeless
Yes,
as
we
an
are.
organization,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Tell me
Yeah,
about
well,
that, and maybe our listeners can help pitch in and how to give Gawad Kalinga a home.
We used to have a office somewhere near IT Park. It was property of the provincial government,
Okay.
but then the provincial government wanted it back,
Okay.
so we were displaced. This happened quite a while back, but maybe 3-4 years back. They actually still haven't used the property, but we've been displaced. So we've been working from home for
Okay.
about 3 years
Okay.
now.
So, if you don't mind me asking you, sir, how many volunteers does Gawad Kalinga have, and what are your most important needs right now? More urgent needs aside from the obvious money, of course. But what are your in terms of volunteers? Like what do you guys need?
Well, our organization, we have 6 members of our management team in Cebu.
Okay.
Then we have about maybe 15 core volunteers
Okay.
aside of that. These are the people that volunteer to go to our communities, attend the meetings there, then make the reports, go back to us, make sure that they're following all the guidelines of Gawad Kalinga. So there are about 20 of us, part-time. We're all volunteers. No one is paid in Gawad Kalinga. So doing all of that, and then hopefully we have somebody that can give us an office so that we can, because one of the difficulties is when people want to meet us, and then right now we have to meet in a coffee shop, in public places. So it makes it a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
So maybe that, but in general, we just need more people to volunteer. We have so many programs, literacy, feeding, or even values formation, speakers for that, different topics. We just need people to care more.
So how do you align the skill set of the volunteer and what you guys need? Like, what do you need right now, like in terms of skills? You mentioned earlier.
Our main programs right now are uplifting education, because our education is pretty bad. So we have a program where we tutor public school kids that are not passing, so that they can be they can improve their situation, their education, so that at the end of the year they're on par with other students
within the Gawad Kalinga communities.
No, we identify schools.
Oh, okay.
So not necessarily Gawad Kalinga community. So we go to schools and say, "Ma'am, grade 3, we have a donor."
Mga hagbongonon.
Yes.
Oh.
Actually, the problem with our school system is the no-fail policy. So even if you're not supposed to pass,
It's a policy?
It's a policy. It's
Okay.
been for a few years now.
Like in the public schools?
Yes, in the public schools. So nagid mabiyaan, nagid mo pasa na dili. No.
Why is that a policy? I mean, it can be a thing, but can't be a policy.
No, well, because they're supposed to be undergoing tutorials, but the tutorials sometimes are not enough. So we have to add more tutorials.
Kung makibaw ang mga estudyante na ron, nay nakadungog ron nga estudyante. Ako, kung nakadungog ko ana, estudyante pa ko, naaday fail, no fail policy, ha? Ha?
Lagi.
Well, it's
But this
been
is
there for a while.
Oh
Public
my
schools,
God,
yeah.
really? Oh, di kapasar si Ralph di ay?
Sa mga grade ni more. Grade 12 na ka.
So once again, why don't you invite them to go to your website and to your
Yes.
social media platforms,
Yes.
so they can be part of Gawad Kalinga. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. To see our programs and donate, you can go to gk1world.com. One is the number one. So,
Okay.
okay, and to look at our programs or make inquiries to volunteer locally in Cebu, you can find us on our Facebook page, GK Cebu. So somebody will answer your questions, reply to you, tell you about our programs, which ones you might be interested in. Or if you just want to donate, you can contact us there as well.
Do you have a project right now that's already groundbroken or that's nearing completion and all of that stuff?
There are some of our communities that have spaces for housing. So once in a while, we have a donor for 1 or 2 houses, and we build it there. Interestingly enough, we have a group that is arriving now from Singapore American School. Every year, they donate 2 houses.
Every year they
Every
donate
day,
2
2
houses.
So
Okay.
they have a GK community started by them. There are other houses from other groups, but the community was started by them in Dalaget. So every year they come over during Thanksgiving and they help finish the 2 houses. So we
Thanksgiving mo ron, di ba? Sa
Yes,
Amerika, di ba?
So they flew in today from
Okay.
Singapore.
Wow.
So
wow,
they're gonna
nice.
drive all the way to get on a bus, go to Dalaget,
Oh.
help finish the house in like 4 days, and then
So
fly back
kaning
to
Gawad
Singapore.
Kalinga home or house ba? Is it like a prototype that you just replicate or maglain-lain yun siya?
Well, there's a single design.
Okay.
It's typhoon resilient.
Okay.
Now maybe we have to make it earthquake resilient as well.
Okay.
It was designed after Yolanda.
Oh, okay.
So we've been following the design. We just tweak it according to the topography of the area. So that's the design we follow. It's 26 square meter footprint, and it's loftable. So that there's creation of the mezzanine. They can put their sleeping areas, so on and so forth.
So it's 26 square meters ang iyang floor area or ang
Yeah, footprint.
footprint niya. So but you can
It's
make a
loftable. Yeah,
it's just like a
not
second
really
level?
a second floor, but it's enough space to put bedrooms,
Oh, okay.
stairs.
Okay.
26 square.
So it is a
meters,
it is a kind of prototype, right? Of course, you just adjusted based on the topography and all of that stuff. And maybe everything that I'm asking is actually on your website.
Yes,
Can they see that?
Yes.
Once again, the website is
gk1world.com.
All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. The head of Gawad Kalinga here in Cebu and one of the members of the Housing Board of Cebu City, Mr. Toby Florendo. Daghang salamat, sir.
One last thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm no longer the GK head.
Okay,
I don't believe in being the head for so long.
okay.
So I stepped down 2 years ago and demoted myself to head of partnerships and marketing.
Okay.
Because maybe our politicians can learn something that you shouldn't be
Yeah.
in power for so long.
Okay. So who's the head now? The actual head of Gawad Kalinga in
He's
Cebu?
now Crisanto Sabanpan.
Okay.
He used to be the area head. He used to be sent by our national headquarters to oversee the Visayas, but he's from Cebu. So I was able to convince him to become the GK head.
Well, good for him and good for you.
Yeah.
Daghang salamat, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, Toby Florendo, thank you so much. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or whatnot, please just post them on our Facebook page, Tops Media Center. In this particular video, right, Ralph? They can just post there. We'll get back to it, and we will certainly forward the question or message to Toby Florendo here. So we have a bunch of people who are watching us right now. Can you do your shout-outs, Ralph? Go ahead.
Yung shout out tayo sa atong mga viewers sa atong TikTok live na si Vin, Grace Peña Guiman, si Charette, Yeli Allen, Jenzil, Francis Lopez, Raymar Daligos, and sila.
Some karaful. Mura mga beneficiary sa kaning no-fail policy.
Feel ako, I actually am.
At Queen's Pizza, we bring the authentic flavors of New York-style pizza to the Philippines.